Okay, I've just come across this beautiful little stone pile, and just to give you an idea of its size, I'll just take that off there. That looks really pretty. So I thought, have a look around. And it's just on the edge of this little wood line here. And it's always interesting. Well. Look what's here. What's here? Right in front of us. A little pile of 3 stones. Well, let's see what they... I'm standing in my own light. Small one. I'm looking on the base of them just to see if there's any writing of any kind, but there isn't. So I'm just going to have a look. That's where we're at. This creepy forest, as everybody calls it, but it's not creepy, it's just really, really still. But, and then off we have another stone. As if this stone, let's just show you, as if this stone belongs in the forest. But here we go. There's one there. This is a well-trodden path. I'll show you. If you look down here, that's a well-trodden path. I'm just going to go back to that. So there's that stone there, and then just here, and another one. No scratchings. What I'm looking to see if there's any scratchings on the stone. So if I just have a quick look there, there are no more. If I trace my steps, interesting little stone pile. What's so there was that one, the first one. Now look. Okay. There's the stone pile. There's this one here, and then there's that one over there in the middle. Back to that one, let's look, and we'll look here. That's the first. Now let's carefully look, is there another? And there is. Here we are. See this one here? Right in the middle. Another little one. Do you think somebody has been leaving a little trail? That's wood. I don't see any others, but this is a well-worn path. And there's another one here. I should be careful about picking these up, making sure first of all that they are stones and not poo, because there is some poop. I strongly believe that this is an area, and it's a corner. Again, it's a corner. These guys love corners. And if you think about your, well, any of you who have been in the military, when you're doing recce's and staking out a ground, corners are great vantage points for seeing what's coming left and right. So there we are. I wanted to show people this because it's just a remains of a tree stump, which you can see. Pine cones land every which way but loose, don't they? How often do you see them like this, stuck vertically? Apparently it's a sign of hunting, where animals are. Don't know what type of animals in particular, but that's what I understand it is. This is a vantage point, apparently. Isn't that unusual? Have you seen that before? It's strange the things that we notice. I have long thought that pine cones have some significance the way they are left, because I usually find them on tree stumps that have been sawn by the Forestry Commission, and they seem to be gathered in like threes. 3 is a magical number. I don't know what it is, don't know what it means. I always like to have a look-see. So the creepy forest is about, probably half a mile away, but there are huge clumps of areas where we get this kind of old man's beard, and usually it's quite dry. It's not wet stuff, but with the amount of rain that we have had, it's a little yucky. I imagine if you're wanting to make a nice soft bed to sleep on at night time, or to rest on at night time while you were hunting, it would make a very good source. There's a well-worn path right through here, very well worn. She says falling off it. And here we go again. This is the following the inside line of the tree line, so you can stand within a few feet of the track and just stand here early evening, early morning, and you can see all that wanders past, and you wouldn't even be spotted. A lady and her bicycle went past before with her dog. She may be the only person up here. Totally unaware I'm here. Totally unaware. But this is how close. The ground is starting to get very, very soft here. This is how close we can be and be unaware. Now the stone trail has finished. But what I'm doing is trying to find a clear path. A clear path through. I'm not intending to go this way. I'm just paralleling the track. Wow. always checking out anything that appears blurry to the eyes, because it usually means there's something, unless you've got bad eyes, something standing between you and whatever it is that you were intending to focus on. And usually your senses draw you to a particular place, and there's a good reason why they do. Now, I'm not going to hang around in this area for too long. It gets very boggy. But look, I'll show you. You put your foot in the ground. See that? Very springy. It springs back. It's very soft. Hey, teddy bears. Hello, teddy bears. Hello, teddy bears. Perfectly quiet and beautiful place to be. I know it all looks creepy, but it's so silent. And oops, sinking a little bit. Now there's a sprite. Always sinking. I think that's little Gafeba. Gone. She's gone. Okay, so these are the screenshots that I took from the video. So we'll start off with this one, and what I'm just going to show you on here is the editing process, how I edit it all. And the first three photographs are all about the editing. So this is an ordinary editor from any computer, it's part of your package. And it's no filters on this one. This is the photograph as it was, and it's the photograph that I took from a screenshot, and I set it to freeze frame. So starting up in the top here, you've got a face. Can you see that? Face up there. Then there's some face there. There's another one there. This is Arnold Cheetah. She's got a lovely smile. She is a healer and a teacher. And I don't know who this is. I'm not sure. But that's quite a big face. I would like to say it's a back, but there's no beard. So I'm not sure who that is. Then you've got all these faces up here. Really quite weird, strange. Moving along. Another face here. And another one there. Look how clear that one. That's their actual face. They do give us
these sort of presentations of themselves in human form, but that's how they would actually look. Okay, so we're going to move on to photograph number 2. And as you see, I've numbered them down in the bottom corner here. So if you want to screenshot them, feel free to do that. Don't worry if you don't want to screenshot them now. I'm going to put them all up at the end of the video, and you'll have a few seconds of each shot so you can screenshot them if you want, and the numbers will be corresponding so you know what to look for. And we'll start top left up again here. You can see that face is a bit more clear, and that blue filter that I've used, the Arctic blue filter, seems to help that image a bit. So that makes that one a bit more clear. Then there's a large face showing itself, which we couldn't see in the ordinary colour. The other 2 faces are here. Ahuchida is still here. This one here is much clearer with the blue filter. There's something going on here. There's a person or something here. Beard and moustache. And what looks like a hat. It almost looks like a fedora. Not a trilby, but like a fedora. Weird, isn't it? And this face, it's changed. It's morphed a bit, but there's still faces here. And then you've got this one up here that looks like Woody from Toy Story. So let's move on to photograph number 3. Exactly the same, and this shows you how I alter the colours in the process. So this is your ordinary editing screen from your computer, and you've got all these choices on the right hand side: contrast, exposure, highlights, shadows. So I put those all down to 0, move them all down to 0, and then I gradually move the shadows up slightly. I usually ignore the highlights, and then a little bit of exposure, a little bit of contrast, a little bit more exposure, a little bit more contrast, blah blah blah. Do those 2 really gradually. And in this one, I've made this image black and white, a monochrome, just to see if it changed and brought out more detail. So we can still see this head here, but there are just so many faces now. Look at how many faces there are in there. Now you might not see it on your big TV screen, but if you look at these on a mobile phone, a cell phone, a tablet or a laptop, you're going to see so much more. And then Woody up there again. I think Woody's got big ears. It's quite remarkable, the differences that you see. So let's go on to the next one. So this is number 4. All I wanted to show you with this was, what I've done is taken this image, taken a screenshot, and it's on slow motion. The actual video, as the video was running, it was on slow motion, and then I took the screenshot. So it gives this weird sort of milky effect in the foreground, but all of this is what's actually in the video, and you can't get away from it. When you're in the field, as it were, looking at these areas, it looks as if the backdrop isn't real, and all of this blurriness. And when you get your film home and you edit it, you then get a tree that suddenly looks like this. Doesn't look like that in real life. When you're looking at it, it doesn't anything like that. But you're seeing some sort of layer that's behind it or in front of it, or many layers. No idea. But all this blurriness produces things like this. If you look up here in the left, a large face, the nose, eyes, mouth, a large face. There's another one going this way. So what the people would do would be stand way back in the tree line here, but they would present their face or something like that down here, a head down here, but they'd actually be way back there. And you can see quite a large face here. So it's quite interesting to see. I took this because it has lots of what I call little doorways in it. Little doorway there, little doorway there, doorways, 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 lots of doorways. Actual fact, they couldn't just be just dark patches of grass. But when you start to look at the photographs carefully and zoom in on them, you'll see their little doorways. In the front here, we've got this, a dark face there. So those of you that screenshot, have a look at that. Have a look at this one here. It's a face on its side and another one beside it. There is so much to see. But I'm going to ask you to screenshot it. Here, this one as well. Have a look at that. Let's move on. Photograph number 6. So what I've done in this one is I've taken all the colour and all the contrast out of it. And all I've done is raised the shadows up on it. And it gives some interesting images in the trees. Always faces in the trees. One on its side there and another one beside it. Look at this. Nose, eye, his eyes are closed, mouth. But if you come across to this side here, what is that? Let's just zoom in. I'm not going to zoom in too much because I don't want to lose the detail. But that's just what I've zoomed in. So maybe you turn your head on your side to the right and that might be a mouth, they might be eyes, that might be a nose. Whatever it is, it's super weird. It really is. And what's this here? What's going on there? What face is that? Who are they? And here, yet again. What's all this here? You know? Clearly got faces coming out of the trees. So if you screenshot those, you can have a play around with them. See what you think. So let's move on to picture number 7. All of this blurredness up here. That's where they're standing. And then if you look carefully, you can actually see a face here. The eyes and the mouth. And it's on its side like that. And what are all these round circles? 1, 2. What are they? And these bands that go from one side to the other. But what are all the round circles? Whose face is that? See that? Eye, nose, mouth. Whose face is it? There's more small little faces here. What's going on up there? It's peculiar, isn't it? And then here, right in the middle, very, very pale, with a headband. Some kind of headdress right above the forehead, going across there. Eyes, nose, mouth, little ear there. It either looks like it's a hat or big hair. It's very indistinct. There's another face here. Peculiar. So let's move on to picture number 8. Lot more blurs, big stretchy faces, more faces. Look at this tree here, right in the middle of the tree. Sad face. Taking up more than the tree space, taking up 2 trees to produce that. Then we're going to move on to picture number 9. large face there. No idea who that is. You can see the nose, the eyes there. But there's something here. It looks almost like it's wearing a yashmak across the eyes. Up here. Then you start to get the dark blue faces. The really dark blue. Another one appearing, materializing there. There's a little chappie up here. Someone up there. Shall we have a look at him? See what he's... What are you going to say, mate? What are you going to say? There we go. Dark hair. Forehead. Eye. You can't see the one, but partially behind there. Mouth open, always laughing. These guys are always laughing. Again. And that's the thing that looks like a yashmak. Up close, it doesn't look anything. But what on earth is that? I have no explanation. And this here, what's this? So when you get to the end of these photographs and the explanations, all of these photographs will appear again, and they'll have the corresponding number in the bottom, and you can screenshot them. I'll leave them on for a period of time for each photograph, and you'll be able to screenshot them. So let's move on to picture number 10. This is in the creepy forest, and this was on slow motion, and I was zooming in with the camera, so this is why you get the many layers that are running in this way. So you're zooming in, it almost looks like a space age tunnel, but it's actually creepy forest tunnel. So any of you who are taking a screenshot with your phone or with your tablet or laptop, if once you've taken that, step away. Have a look at the image and step away from it, and you'll see right in the middle of here is a face with a headdress on. You can clearly see the face, but you can't see it up close. But when you step away from the image, you can see it. So up here, something going on. Definitely a face in there. But this is the one. This is the reason why I took this screenshot here. You see the head? Like a dark indigo blue. Let's zoom in on this and see what we have. So you've got one eye there, the other eye here, tip of the nose, top of the head, probably hair up there, ears, but hiding within all of this greeny stuff. There's another face there, and there's another one hiding down behind here. Can't really get the detail on that one. Let's go on to picture number 11. It's in the same area. Look at this. You've got a tree spirit here. Head tilting on its side, tree spirit. Almost looks witchy, but it isn't. Then an elongated face here. Don't ask me how they do this. I have no idea. I can only show you what I see. But what is that? Is that two eyes? That is. That looks like two eyes. There's a face up there, just in that gap. So if we move on to picture 12, I have flipped the previous picture. Just flipped it upside down. See what shows its face. I'm going to flip it again. And here you've got that face. Let me zoom in on that. Now can you see the face more clearly? The eye, the eye. You can clearly see the teeth are actually defined. See that? Just tucked away, laughing its head off. They always laugh. They're always full of joy to be a part of this. Let's move on to the next. And that was the enlargement of that same photograph there. Just by flipping it. That would be the ground, you see, ground level. But we see buried in all of that is these faces. So let's go on to picture 14. More of this green straggly old stuff. But let's look at it really carefully. We'll move across with this pointer. We're going to look at that. Is that a face? Does it look like a face? Let's have a zoom. Sort of looks like a face. Two eyes, maybe? Maybe. And then I move to the right and look at this. This is a tree spirit. Look at this. See the detail of its eyes? And its forehead is marked. And its mouth. I don't know whether it's a beard. I don't know whether they have male or female, or whether they can just choose to be whatever they need to be, or whether it even matters. And there's a face tucked behind there. So if you look at that, I think there's a smaller version of it here. Wispy looking thing. Eyes, mouth, shadow of the nose, forehead, hair. Now a lot of people might say, oh, it's pareidolia. Well, there sure is a lot of coincidences for pareidolia. A lot of eye detail. Face there. There sure is. It's one of those great excuses you sort of give yourself when you start off doing this, and then you realise you can't. You just cannot say it anymore because it's just too much. So we've got that little face tucked up there, and these wispy things here. I think these are tree spirits. There's a chappie there tucked behind. Look at the big old smile. Laughing his head off. Lovely smile. Really lovely. And then this one here. I think that is a projection of that. So that might be buried within the tree. It might even be that face here. And it gets smaller. Works its way down. And then there it is. That's just a thought. Frankly, I have no idea. So we're going to go on to picture number 15. And this is an enlargement. And if you look there, look at that. Can you see that? Shall I enlarge that for you? Definitely a head. Definitely something in there. The eyes. The nose, the light shining off the nose. Then there's these little heads down here. And whoever these are. And all these little peekaboo. And another peekaboo. It's absolutely remarkable. So we're on to picture number 16 here. And there's certainly large faces in here. But look. Can you see that? Now I've got a funny story to tell you about this. When I first looked at this photograph, I asked her back. I said, who is this? I said, is it one of your family? No. Is it a tree spirit? And the answer was yes, it was. So I said, does this tree spirit have a name? And her back said yes. I said, can you spell his name out for me? Am I allowed to know it? So I am allowed to know it. I said, would you spell his name out for me? So B was the first letter. Then the next letter, it's A. What's the next letter? C. And the next letter, H. So I said, are you serious? And I got the sense that Amak was killing himself laughing. A tree spirit called Bark? Really? He thought it was hilarious, and it was. It was just so unexpected. I did not expect him to come up with a joke like that. But they're just very, very funny guys. So we're looking at this chap up here. So let's move on to picture number 17. There he is again. See the teeth and the eyes there? There's no body, it's just the head. So it's just the way they present themselves. And we go on to the next one on number 18. Here again. His faces again. There's another one showing here. See that? Let's move on to the next one. There he is. Now you can see him almost crystal clear. He's turned his head. There's his mouth. You see his mouth? Bottom of his nose, his nostril, an eye, side of his head, chin, yeah. So this is a tree spirit. I have no idea how big or how small he is. I think he's smaller than myself, so I think he'd be between 4 and 5 feet, but I don't really know. Another one there with its mouth open. So there were the varying stages of him moving. So we'll move on to number 20, and this is the same chap. I mean, there is another face down here, but there he is, up there, on his path when he moved. That is Abak's uncle, I think it is, Daciagea. That's his Daciagea. He's got quite a big bulbous nose, but big moustache and beard. He does look similar, but he's got hair. He looks similar to Abak, but he has hair. But faintly, you can see another face in here, very faintly. So feel free to screenshot all of these, but at the end of it, I'll let them run so that you can see them. So here we get the mystical trees again, and then you've got this side face on here. But the area I want you to have a look at, we've got a face on here, but look at this area. Look at that. Can you see that? Like a little cherub with some kind of hat or a headdress on it, but it looks like a cherub. And I should enlarge that and let you have a look and see what that is. And this is the enlargement. See that? See the eyes, mouth, blowing out. Let's zoom in. There we are, right in the middle of the screen there. You see it? See the face, the nose, the eyes? So just in this one here, see the way that ghostly, almost looks ghostly the way that is looking in on us. Another one in here, almost ghostly. And those of you that take screenshots, if you step right back, you'll be able to see all sorts of big faces in here. So let's move on to picture number 24. More blurriness and weirdness up here. What is this? What the devil is all that? When you look underneath here, there's the ghostly face number 1. Another one there, another one there, another one there. All very ghostly looking faces. And sometimes I think as if you can see through the ground. The ground is almost becoming transparent. Face in the trees there, look at that. And another one faintly showing there. Up here. Where are the faces? See them? What are these lines coming down up the trees? Just weird. So number 25. Same again up here with the faces. It's just a different version of the same picture using different filters and enhancements, and it gives you that face there. There's another really big weird looking thing there. Same again, dropping all the colour out of it. Make it look very black and white. See, you can see that face becomes clear. Another one in there becomes clear. There are really big faces there. They're right in front of the camera here and here. So there's another one there. So those of you that take screenshots, if you step right back, you may well be able to see the faint outline of them. It's quite peculiar. It really is. So let's move on to the next one. This was weird. It was just all of these trees, and there is a face. There is some kind of face in there. But it was this here. It's bright. It shines as bright as anything can be. Let's just zoom in on that. Let's zoom in again. I think it needs a little bit of largeness. Does it just look weird? I wonder if we turn it round. Let's flip it. Let's flip it so it's upside down. Now we're going to zoom in on it. See if we get anything from it. There you go. What does that look like to you? Anything or nothing? Mouth, eye, the nose. Do you see it? It's one of these weird sort of tree spirit things. And this. That, if you look at that photograph and then just see that, why has that appeared? Let's have a look. There. Is that a face? Or just someone flashing a torch in there? I just think that is super weird. Really super weird. You can get the sort of impression there's big faces in here. Lots of big faces. Anybody that screenshots, you'll see these. Another one here. And another massive one there. But look how weird the ground looks. It looks like there's sort of underground structures. It looks like these trees are connected by almost like rope that goes round. Telecommunication system that goes round underground, and we can see it. It's very odd.